Reggie, Paul speaks about becoming all things to all people. Discuss how that works out in the life of a minister today, as far as do we become all things? Are we void or devoid of culture ourselves, or do we become like the culture that we're ministering to?
That's a great question, Chris. I think it's really helpful to remember how full of what cultures had made and shaped him Paul was. You know, like we were saying a little while ago, Paul talks about the fact that he was a Roman citizen. He talks about he is a citizen of Tarsus. And when he says that, he says it like with his chest puffed out, as like a city of no mean standing. And like, you know, he when he talks about his Roman citizenship, he's asked, well, you know, did you buy your Roman citizenship? And he goes, no, I was born to my Roman citizenship. And he talks about the fact that he was trained at the feet of Gamaliel, as far as we know, one of, if not the preeminent Jewish teacher of his time. And when Paul talks about becoming all things to all men, he's not talking about the sort of the shriveling up of who he is and just kind of using an eraser to get rid of everything that is Paul. In 1 Corinthians 9, when he says that, he's just been talking about the need for people to love and to use positions of authority for the sake of other people, not for their own self-aggrandizement. He's talked in chapter 7 of 1 Corinthians about the fact that because we belong to Christ, we're slaves of no men. We're bought with a price, so we're slaves of nobody. But what that means is the slave becomes the Lord's freedman and gets a sense of dignity, a sense of family that they never had. Conversely, the person who is free becomes a slave of Christ. And that when Paul thinks about himself, he thinks about a person who's free, who's advantaged in all kinds of ways: Roman citizen, citizen of Tarsus, Hebrew of Hebrews. And he's thinking about his own responsibility not to base his self-worth on those sources of identity, but to see them as means and opportunities to serve other people. And so it means, yeah, there's sort of an emptying of self, but it's not an erasing of self. It's a seeing myself as being a steward of this identity, so that my Romanness can be there for you. My Jewishness can be there for you. My Tarsianness can be there for you. And so the challenge for ministers is to really own the good things that have made us what we are. Our upbringing, our education, the good things in our lives and the bad things in our lives. Some things that put us more in touch with the glory of Jesus, and the things that put us in touch with the sufferings of Jesus, and see those as being means and opportunities to build deeper relationships with people.